Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Jerry Sansing with another edition of South Texas News and Reviews. This is Sunday, November the 12th, 2017. Beautiful Sunday day in the afternoon. This air times for this one are Sunday at 9:30 p.m. and Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. or 8 o'clock p.m. My Gmail address is gsansing@gmail.com. And this is available on YouTube. If you go into YouTube and put in Gerald, G-E-R-A-L-D, Sansing, S-A-N-S-I-N-G, it'll come up, along with the What's Going On in Corpus Christi shows, which is Taxpayers, and also the voice of Ed Bennett. So anyway, please email me, folks. It's critical at this stage of the game after this show, and I'm going to give you that email address during the show. We need to get this city cranked off. We need to get Delmar back on track, and just take control. We are taxpayers. We're paying for all this and we're getting nothing. Anyway, I'll be right back with you in just a few seconds. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, and the recorder's going. The camera. I guess we're got the lights on. I guess I'll go around and take my seat and let's get this South Texas News and Reviews program on the road. I'd like to say these roses, these beautiful roses, are dedicated to Miss Lynn and Miss April 23 and my mom, Miss Connie. Okay. This is South Texas News and Reviews. It's Sunday, November the 12th, 2017. The air times on this South Texas News and Reviews are Sunday at 9:30 to 10:30 p.m. and then Wednesday at 8 to 9 p.m. What's Going On in Corpus Christi, which is a 30-minute taxpayer show, which I also produce, or not produce, but I go ahead and I'm the MC on that one. And that's at Monday at 9 to 9:30 p.m., Wednesday from 10 to 10:30. Then we have the voice of Ed Bennett, which is Sunday at 8:30 to 9 p.m., Wednesday at 5 o'clock to 5:30 p.m. And Mr. Bennett, Ed, a good friend of mine, is a regent there in Delmar College, and he is the only certified CPA on that group. Okay, now we're going to have new times for these shows, and I'm going to air those next week on the shows. But beginning December the 3rd, 2017 through June of 2018, we'll have a difference in the shows. What I do is we have a lottery, it's called, and every 6 months we go in and we put numbers up, and it's sign the contracts and so forth and so on, and then we do pick the times for the next 6 months, and that makes it fair for everybody that's on the public access users group, channel 10, to pick their times. And there are a lot of people that participate, obviously, if you watch the public access shows. That is on the cable with Grande, Spectrum, and AT&T, and you can pull those up, and this is the public access. Now, we've had some problems lately with the city who airs these things. It's a long evolution. I won't go through that. Since the beginning of public access television in Corpus Christi, Texas, the city now, we take the shows down to them. They put them on computers, they program the times and so forth and so on. And then on many times, on like a Sunday or a Saturday or all weekend, the shows don't air. It's just a blank. It's just the ads, and so it rattles on forever with nothing being aired. And the city, in its infinite wisdom, down there with those people that put on these shows, and that's at your expense, folks. You pay a fee when you pay your cable bill and so forth and so on to obtain the public access shows, Channel 18 and Channel 10. Now, it doesn't fail that the cities blather on the airing of all of their information, and board or council meetings and everything else. Those usually play. I think that's Channel 19, it may be 20, and then Delmar's got one, and it never fails that Delmar goes through. But public access, I guess when they don't like something we've done or whatever, they won't air the shows. And you get all this blank air and all these ads with this terrible music that plays ad nauseum. Okay, and you know, the shows don't air. So I don't know what to tell you except raise hell with them. You know, why don't you call down there to the city, and why don't you go ahead with Mr. McComb, the mayor, and just raise hell with him and say, you know, I'm paying money to see these public access shows, and there are a lot of religious shows on there, a lot of churches that do this, a lot of individual people like me. I've got South Texas News and Reviews, which I've done for, it seems like, 100 years. And then the what's going on in Corpus Christi, which is the taxpayers, they don't want to hear from us there. So I don't know if they just give, you know, if the city just says don't air them or not, just, you know, go ahead and perturb them deeply, and let's don't worry about it. Okay, so you've got the times on those shows. Anyway, I'd like to put a plug in. It's not a plug, folks. For many years, I have been very interested in, since I do teach a bunch of allied health students and pre-allied health, pre-medical, pre-dental, pre-pharmacy, pre-vet, and so forth and so on students at Del Mar College since my retirement in 1989 to come here and teach. And I enjoy that. And I'm going to talk about what's happened over there, that since I am a traditional professor of microbiology, I can teach chemistry, I can teach anatomy, physiology, I can teach biology classes, I can teach all the chemistry classes and so forth and so on, which burns a few people up over there. I've had an extensive background in in the hard research business, in biochemistry, microbiology, toxicology, and you name it, okay? And that tends to burn them up. But when I give a traditional class and try to take students at the basic level and teach them the basics so that they can go on into junior, senior level and possibly graduate school, go to medical school, school of pharmacy, vet school, dental school, professional PhD, you know, my master's PhD endeavors in biology and chemistry and so forth, then I am substandard because I don't have these golly gee whiz courses that we do research in. Okay? Now, how in the hell can you do research if you don't know the basics? I have a real hang up with that, folks. I've been around a long time and I know better than that. But I'm going to talk about that as far as Del Mar College and all the privileged few over there. And I'll just say privileged few. They're having their chains pulled by some people that don't have the credentials to really know what's going on. Now, for years, I have gone to Driscoll Children's Hospital, and I have gone into the gift shop there, and they have the most fantastic set of Christmas cards that you have ever seen in your life. They have the children over there, the patients, that draw these wonderful, they've got wonderful artwork, and they take those artwork for the Christmas season, and then they go ahead and they make Christmas cards out of those, okay? Now, I'm going to admit to this, and this caused me a great deal of angst and pain and agony at Del Mar College. I am Jewish, okay? I adopted that because of my mother's lineage, okay? And I've tried to practice being a good Jew. I do appreciate the Christian religions, and you know, I think that when Moses came down off the mountain and put those 10 commandments up, folks, if people would just abide by those 10 commandments, this world would not have near the turmoil that we've got today. And then we wouldn't have this animosity between Jews and Arabs and Christians and so forth and so on. I'm just gonna spit this out, okay? And then when I go to Del Mar College, we have such a sanctimonious group over there in the Human Resources Department that when anti-Semitic remarks are made on the holiday shows that are live from Del Mar College by a certain faculty member over there. And you know, when we have the chamber music people, then they were referred to as the gas chamber, and that's considered to be by the current administration at Del Mar College through the Human Resources Department, the head of that and the subordinate, the director of that, or whatever, vice president or whatever it is. Those anti-Semitic remarks were considered to be humorous by Del Mar College. Okay, and so was the fact that the person running that holiday show, live radio, said, "Oh, and where's the mariachi band? Oh, they're out looking for their green cards." That was supposed to be humorous also. Okay, I don't find it humorous at all. Now, I do believe in children's books and Christmas cards and everything else. Okay. Now, the rest of my family did not adopt Judaism, okay? So, I'm not going to go there. But let me get back to what I was going to say about Driscoll. Those children come up with the most beautiful drawings, and I mean, they're not Da Vinci quality stuff, folks, although I think they are, okay? Maybe not Da Vinci, but who was the illusionist there? I'll think of his name in a minute, okay? But they're beautiful, beautiful drawings, and they convert those into Christmas cards, okay? And they have those for sale over there. So would you all please just go ahead and make a big run on that place over there and run them out of supplies on their Christmas cards? They're absolutely gorgeous, and I do that every year. And today, on the 12th, I'm going to go over there at least by Monday, tomorrow, or on Wednesday, and I'm going to purchase some and send those out to all of my friends and family members. Okay? So please go to Driscoll and support that. And by the way, there was a patient years ago, Allison Schaefer, who's written a book, and there's a beautiful picture today in the Caller Times, or I guess it was yesterday maybe, of a young lady sitting there illustrating that. She's a patient at Driscoll Children's Hospital. So please go do that, and it's worth the time that I burned for that, and I won't belabor it any longer. But please support Driscoll, folks. That's a fantastic group over there, and my hat's off to all of those people that have graduated from my classes in pre-nursing and pre-medical, pre-dental, pre-pharmacy, and so forth. That and a lot of my former students are nurses now, and they work over there at Driscoll, and technicians, respiratory, surge tech, and some others. So bless you all, folks. You're doing a fantastic job over there. Okay. Now, then we'll switch over to the city council, which means the city council grills management of the American Bank Center. Now, this thing is an article that came out yesterday, or 2 days ago, excuse me, on the 10th. You need to go look it up. Tim Acosta did it in the Caller Times, and it's the city finally coming to their senses and asking some questions of SMG is the company that manages the American Bank Center since I think 2004. They said, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but anyway, they need to have a talking to about this, that, and the other. Now, I can't believe that our general, here we are, we're getting down on that company, okay? Now, I don't know them. They may not be doing the best job in the world. I'm not keeping up with that. I've got enough to keep up with in my life. But let's see, American Bank Center. Our general economy will not support high-priced tickets that result from top acts. We're not Dallas. We're not Houston. We're not Austin, San Antonio, Chicago, and New York City, Los Angeles, and so forth and so on. So we're not going to be able to get the general economy around here to be able to afford tickets to go see the top acts. Now, every once in a while they do have one in there. I go down there occasionally. I hate the American Bank Center. I hate the whole concept of that and the way it went up and so forth and so on, and the taxpayers' money. But you know, I do go down there if there's something that I want to see. So I bite the bullet and I go down there, okay? As much as I hate to pay $10 for parking and, you know, and then be shuffled here, there, and everywhere. But when are we going to understand that we're not these big cities that can afford and have the financial base with our people here in town, our citizens, to support these wildly expensive tickets for the most fantastic venues in the world? It just ain't going to happen, folks. So what I'm going to ask the council to do is to, you know, quit being uppity down there, and let's go ahead and figure out what we can do to attract people and go down to the American Bank Center. One thing would be to support people in this community so that they can make a decent living, which a lot of people can't do around here because they're subservient to the elite in Corpus Christi, Texas, and let them go ahead and do that, okay? And our local gentry will never learn that it's their fault. It's not the people that can't afford the tickets, okay? So let's back off of that, okay? Now, then what we have is the gentry around here. They're trying to make millions of dollars supporting different activities that sound real good to you and get you to vote for things like the Del Mar College Southside Campus. And, you know, here we've got $500 million they're going to put in a campus out south. And who's going to make all the money? Who's going to reap the benefit of spending $500 million for a campus that we do not need? You were duped, folks. Okay, I'm here to tell you. And I'm as popular as inflamed hemorrhoids at Del Mar College and all these people over there that are reaping benefits from this and the local gentry around here. But I'm just going to tell it like it is. I've got nothing to lose, okay, except more of my tax money. Now, I make a pretty good living at Del Mar College, and I can't deny that. And, you know, I can afford the taxes usually. I don't like to. I'd rather give that to my children and to my friends and their children who are trying to get through with an education and support, you know, the community. But Del Mar College and the gentry that quote, runs that isn't going to have it, okay? Now, for instance, there was an ad out to support Del Mar Works, it said, okay, as if it works, it's success, okay? And there was an architectural firm around here, I won't mention it, but they donated $5,000 to the Del Mar Works campaign to have you people vote for that Southside campus for the bond money. I think it was $139 million to start with, and that's just a third of a down payment to get that campus built. Now, before that, the regents at Del Mar College decided with the administration that they would, without your permission, go out and buy 96 acres of swampland at Rodfield Road and Yorktown and build a campus out there that we do not need, okay? Now, in order to convince you, there were these real slick ads that were sent out, those beautiful postcards to you and all your family members and so forth. And there were people that donated to that political campaign. I'll call it political. And let's say one of these firms around here donated $5,000 to that. Now, I keep an eye on the checks that are written to these people now that the bonds have been set into motion and so forth, and the one that was there in 2014 for all this classroom space to be built on East and West Campus, which we don't need, okay? And $5,000 contribution is now reaped that company well over $1 million in checks from Del Mar College, and I can prove it. I've got copies of the checks. Okay? I've got copies of those expenses. So when are you people going to wise up out there and start saying that Joe O'Brien was right? Silence is not the answer. So would you please just email me at gsansing at gmail.com. gsansing@gmail.com, and let me know when you're ready to rise up and end this garbage, okay? Yeah. And then we've got American Bank's one of his vice presidents, or one of their vice presidents, that was pushing for Destination Bayfront, $44 million to go build nothing but swing sets and dog trails, or whatever they call them, so we can go over there and pick up dog manure all the time. And in the meantime, tear down one of the most significant architectural structures in South Texas, which was the Memorial Coliseum. Okay? I mean, really, folks, the whole thing, you've been had. You've been duped out there. Okay? All right, now, and then what we do with Del Mar College again is we have a special vendetta by the chair of the Del Mar College Board of Regents, the one that was pushing for $44 million down there, and the one who had some real high-priced people and donations to his candidacy for his run as the chair of the Board of Regents again, or for his position on the Del Mar College Board of Regents. Okay, then why would he have a personal vendetta against Dr. Guy Watts, who's been on that Board of Regents since the year before I got here? I got here in 1989 is when I decided to retire from all the fun I was having. Okay, and then who pushes the pie in the sky Del Mar College projects and Destination Bayfront, and then says he's a only certified public accountant on the board, which was a blatant lie. So why are we putting up with this, ladies and gentlemen? I just don't understand it. Okay, so I'm gonna keep going. Okay, now we've got two people that want to take over for Lloyd Neal, Judge Neal, as a Nueces County judge. One of them is currently on the county court, he's a Nueces County individual, their commissioner, and his name is Mike Pusley, and he wants to run for the judgeship. Okay, now he claims to be a Republican, and why we have to at this level instill politics into things. I'm so damn sick and tired in this town of everything being political, from the water that I drink to the toilet paper that I use and everything else. You know, it's got to be politics, politics, politics. I am sick to death of it. Why can't we just be human beings and do the right thing for each other? Okay? If I'm elected to do a job down here and take care of taxpayers' money, I'm not going to go down there and mess around and, you know, do all this other extraneous horse manure. I'm just tired of it. Listen, why don't we take care, Mr. Pusley, of the people that voted you in? You don't give a damn. And then we have commissioner enters race to become the judge. Barbara Canales, second candidate for the position. Now she's on the Port of Corpus Christi board, or the Port of Corpus Christi Authority. Okay, and you know, she's an attorney. She's highly political. She wants to run as a Democrat. Now, what the hell difference does it make if you're a county judge, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat? Do we still have to continually just go ahead and politicize everything that we do, every breath that we take? Now, my favorite TV station these days is channel OFF. I'm so damn sick and tired of everything in my life, down to my trimming of my toenails at night, being a political endeavor. I'm sick of it, folks, and I think you should be. And these people, you know, if you want to know when a politician's lying to you, just watch their lips. When they start moving, they're probably lying to you. Okay? It's all about self-aggrandizement and making money for them and their buddies. I mean, and the sooner that you people figure that out, then the sooner you're going to be able to live with this stuff. So I don't know, you know, I'm just damn sick and tired of all this crap. I could just scream. So, Mr. Pusley, what are you going to do for me as a taxpayer? Barbara Canales, what are you going to do for me as a taxpayer? Okay, what have you done for me as the on the Port Authority down there, Port of Corpus Christi Authority, except cost me a bunch of money? Okay, and then we've got Vaughn to run for Precinct 1 County Commissioner's Court. Here we go again. We've got Council Member Carolyn Vaughn takes her oath of office in December in City Hall. Now she's been fairly decent at stirring some stuff up, but I mean, again, politically, why in the world would I want to vote for somebody that said highly political? I mean, you know, it's not a stellar record on the city council. City council is still screwing taxpayers over on a daily basis, and I haven't heard one whimper out of you about that. Okay? So, I don't know. And then what we've got, you know, support push for venal, for these two, Vostok-Pine. Okay? Now, I'm going to admit that I was voted in because of my resume predominantly. It wasn't because I'm a nice guy or anything else. But I had a group of people that were violently opposed to the Las Brisas Energy Center when Chase Energy wanted to come in here and pollute us into oblivion and make a whole lot of money. And that was at the beck and call and with the good graces of people like Joe Adami and the people that were on the city council and the county commissioner's court and everybody else under the sun, Governor Perry. We're going to go down there and make a whole bunch of money burning a whole bunch of crap and killing people with pollution in Corpus Christi, Texas, and they're too stupid they can't figure out what's going on. Now with my background, and I'm not bragging, in biochemistry, microbiology, toxicology, I was asked, and I knew this when they asked me to do it, there was a group of people that were concerned about that, and it was mostly political, for a good cause every once in a while. And they asked me if I would chair the Clean Economy Coalition and go after the state and so forth and so on, and not have Las Brisas Energy Center down here killing babies in Corpus Christi, Texas. So I did that, okay? Now I spent a lot of time, personal money, and so forth and so on, but I truly believe that that was going to be one of the worst things that could happen to the citizens of Corpus Christi, Texas. Okay? And I voiced my opinion with that. And I'm as popular as inflamed hemorrhoids and infected boils around this town, consequently, with certain people that want to do and make a whole bunch of money and don't give a damn about your welfare. Okay? Now, we were able to not have the Las Brisas Energy Center here, but the city and all its infinite wisdom and all the high rollers around here gave, and we're going to give massive tax abatements to Chase Energy if they would be able to build that plant and make them a lot of money. Okay? Now there's a steel and pipe company around here that was very interested in that. The wife of the person that owns that was very politically involved around here, not only at the Board of Regents at Del Mar College, but at the city council, and then ran for mayor at one time. How many millions of dollars in reinforcement rebar, pipes and steel and so forth and so on could they have sold if for a couple of $1 billion plant? Does that tell you where these people are coming from and why they vote this way and the other? Okay. Now, so we give tax abatements to these different things. Now here's one that just cropped up yesterday. Okay. 11/11. Okay, that was my wife's birthday and it's very dear to me. That's my favorite number, 11/11, and you know, she had a showdown with me when we were together, and she said, "When are you going to marry me?" And I said, "As soon as possible." She said, "How about your birthday or mine?" Mine is in October. We're not supposed to have been able to get along with each other. We're both were Scorpio, whatever that's worth. Okay. So we flipped a coin and it came up her birthday, so I married her on her birthday. So yesterday was a very painful day for me. So this comes out. TCEQ lists voestalpine violations for black dust. Okay. Now this was 11/11/17. Now voestalpine is a company. Okay, I think it's Italian. Okay, and what they did was they came in here and wanted to put this big plant in over here to take iron ore and convert it into iron pellets and so forth and so on. They were going to be the best neighbors on the face of this earth. Okay. Let's see, it was voestalpine. No, that may have been the German company over there. Okay, not Germany, but who's next door. Anyway, they came in and they wanted to do that. Okay, they're going to be the best thing that we ever had since sliced bread. And then we had tax abatements that were given to them. They built this plant. It's noisy as hell. They're spitting out this black dust, which is part of it. It's an iron derivative of something. It is magnetic, which means there's iron in it. And it's all over everybody's property over there. And oh, now the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality, who welcomed them with open arms because of Rick Perry and his crowd up there, then the same thing they wanted to do with Las Brisas Energy Center and kill a bunch of people. Then they've now got some violations for the black dust. Okay, and then the noise they haven't said too much about, and so forth and so on. Okay, so I don't know, folks. It's a crime. And then these people around here in the local high price and rich gentry, they want to support these things because they're going to make a bunch of money. So I need to go back and look up what Pusley's view of voestalpine was, and also the Austrian, I think, is what it is. Okay, what they're doing to back that thing up, and how much money did they make? Okay, now I told people around here that voestalpine probably shouldn't come in here. They had some pie in the sky. They were going to be the best neighbors in the world. They were over there trying to get the Clean Economy Coalition to sanction them because they knew that Las Brisas was in deep trouble and that probably wasn't going to go, but they wanted to come in here. Okay, and then we've got M&G, and that may be the Italian company. I think that's what it was. They did the same thing. They came in and tried to woo the Clean Economy Coalition. They were going to put this big plant out here to make plastic products right on the ship channel out there. And it was all the most wonderful thing in the world. We're very, very clean. We're going to do this, that, and the other, which was total bovine excrement, folks. Okay? Now here's the headlines on the 1st of this month in November. M&G Corpus Christi plant is up for sale. Now they went out there and put a bunch of structure up, which I don't know that other people can use. They had this pie in the sky stuff. They were going to build a small desal plant so they didn't run us out of water, and they were going to do this, that, and the other. It was going to be the best thing for the economy around here. And the city gave them tax abatements, and Del Mar College gave them tax abatements, you know, because they could just see all this money rolling in without the consequences. So now, you know, there are a lot of people who are starving to death, had to hitchhike back to Tennessee and Kentucky and Arizona and stuff that worked out there building that plant, and then M&G couldn't pay the subcontractors off, and consequently people were standing on the highways with their kids and their very few belongings in a rucksack trying to hitchhike home without any money. So thank you, M&G. And you know, I can thank Corpus Christi, Texas, and you know, Joe Adami and all these people that just couldn't wait to have these big plants come in and make them a whole bunch of money as real estate brokers and, you know, high rollers and stuff. I mean, it's a tragedy, folks. So you know, what can we do? Now here's another boondoggle as far as I can tell. City wants to be water exporter with desalination. Okay? Now, as a chemist, I know what desalination is. I've used it for years to purify water to use in chemical experiments, chemical reactions, microbiological growth media, and so forth and so on. So I know what that's all about, folks. And that's when you remove the salt and contaminants and everything else from water, and you can essentially, if you do it just right, get absolutely pure water out, which is a marvelous thing, but it ain't cheap. Okay? So why our representative around here, Representative Todd Hunter, is pushing that, I don't know, unless he's got, the only thing I can figure out is he's got somebody that's going to hire him to do some stuff. I think he is an attorney, okay, and push this, so I'm sure there are rewards. And this came out yesterday on that very painful day of mine, 11/11. Okay? Now, here's what we've got. The city of Corpus Christi may be moving into the water desalination industry in the near future. Now, this came out in the Caller Times yesterday. Okay? And then it says that while those drought conditions are no longer in effect, they talked about the drought of 11/13, excuse me, and reservoirs are full, city leaders are working with local industry partners and stockholders to better prepare for such an event in the future. Does that give you a red flag? City leaders are working with local industry partners and stakeholders to better prepare for such an event in the future. In the process, they hope to see Corpus Christi become an exporter of fresh water. Desalination is the process of removing dissolved salts from water. We've got the whole Gulf of Mexico sitting out here, folks, and I've preached for years that if they'd done that before they spent a bunch of damn money on these pipelines, the Mary Rhodes pipeline and the da-da-da-da-da pipeline and all the rest of this stuff, we could have had this together and then we wouldn't need it. I'm going to go on. I'm going to get all choked up with this. The City Council on Tuesday formally approved an agreement with engineering firm Freese and Nichols that will allow the city at some point to begin utilizing $2.75 million in funding from the Texas Water Development Board. The money will be used to help with site selection, source water characterization, pre-design, filling permit applications, and public outreach. Okay? Now we got to pay that money back. That's not a grant, that was a loan. Okay? Now, it goes on down and gives you some of the specifics on this, but it says city leaders have a deadline of March 2nd to determine if they want to move forward with construction of the desalination project. It would entail the building of 2 potable plants at a projected cost of $150 million each, capable of producing 10 million gallons of water per day, officials said. Now, 150 million, that's going to be 250 million by the time we get through with these change orders and so forth. Okay? Funding for some or all of that work would likely be sought from the state or other sources, officials said. Should the city move forward with the project, it would have to find a way to pay back the $2.75 million loan in one lump sum payment in July 2025 under the terms of its agreement with the state. Initial planning has identified the Inner Harbor and La Quinta Channel areas as potential sites for the project. Well, you know where that's going to go. That's going to go down there on the port somewhere. And I wouldn't surprise me with M&G going under that there's not plans to go ahead and take over that facility and rearrange it on the ship channel. The only problem with that is if you run a desal plant there, what you're going to find out is the water that's going to be coming back out of there for the cooling and so forth is going to heat the the ship channel water up and kill all the plant life and animal life and microbial life in the channel. So it's going to be a screw up, folks. Okay? So we need to be real careful with this. Okay? Now it says that Rick Ritter with Occidental Chemical in San Patricio County said the company welcomes the city's plan for desalination facility because of the need to diversify water supplies for drought occurrences. He said the company's plant consumes 8 million gallons of water per day, meaning it could build its own desalination facility, but preferred a regional approach. Of course, it's going to save them money. Occidental doesn't give a damn about you and your tax money, or whether you survive or not, as long as they make money for the company. Okay? Now, here's the one that makes sense to me, which is Mr. Greg Smith. He's a council member. And it says, Council member Greg Smith said while he was in favor of the council approving the agreement to begin exploring the desalination salination project in more detail, he wanted city leaders to be smart in their approach. He said with recent additions to the Mary Roads pipeline and local industry implementing water conservation measures, the demand might not be as high as expected to support a desalination plant. That's just what I said a minute ago. I was, appalled at how much money we spent for pipelines down here from Lake Texana and so forth and so on. Bless you, Mary Roads, and the rest of you black-hearted people. Okay? He also pointed to expectations several years ago that the Eagle Ford Shale would create a high demand for water, but the unexpected decline in production proved that not to be the case. That was another Eagle Ford Shale. You remember that when our city father said that was going to be the savior? We're all going to be millionaires and billionaires around here. What happened to Eagle Ford? It's gone. Okay? So I don't know what to tell you, folks. You've been duped one more time. We cannot go and spend another couple $100 million without having the demand, Smith said. Let's have the plans ready. Let's be trigger ready on there, but make sure we have the demand before we take the giant leap and go forward. Mr. Smith, you're one of the few people that I've ever seen on that city council that's got a brain and can figure things out and use basic logic instead of just, I want money in my pocket. McComb said that over the next few months, city staff intended to work on figuring out that demand over the next few months. Those decisions will determine the future of the project, he said. If it does move forward, it could be several years before the desalination plant comes to fruition. We're in the catbird seat, I think, to be an explorer of fresh water if we do it right and we show that we've got the wherewithal to do it, McComb said. Okay? Mr. McComb, you've been a big letdown to me. You said you were going to do certain things and you haven't done it. So I'm just telling you in public that I don't appreciate that. Okay, now I'm going to switch over, Mr. McComb. You came to Taxpayers Association when you were running for office, and you were voted in, and you shot us a bunch of hooey over there. Now, here we've got our illustrious Governor Greg Abbott, and he says, a call to hire Texas veterans, okay? Now, we need to hire vets, particularly the disabled vets. The only problem we've got in Corpus Christi, Texas, is that vets don't count, okay? And then here's Angela King, is CEO of Volunteers of America, Texas. Now is the time to employ people with disabilities. Okay? Now I have a problem with those two statements there, folks. In that Corpus Christi, Texas does not give a tinker's damn about people with disabilities. They don't care. And the reason I say that is I've fought for ADA compliance in this town for a number of years now. So has my Vice President of the Taxpayers Association, Corpus Christi Taxpayers Association, Mr. Jack Gordy, and all of the people that are on our board and so forth of the taxpayers. And we've just been in tears because our city attorney here, Mr. Risley or Risley, whatever his name is, doesn't give a tinker's damn about people with disabilities. That's the reason that no ADA compliance is being done here in Corpus Christi. And the reason is, I'm going to tell you in just a minute, is because the Department of Justice, the Civil Rights Division, the ADA, Americans with Disabilities Act people, they don't care either. They're too busy. They don't have time to take care of the disabled in this country. And I'm going to prove that. And then we had a disabled person, I think he said he was 17 when he got shot in I don't know, one of these gangbang things around here. Abel Alonzo, and he was in a wheelchair for years and years. He passed away, and then all of a sudden the Caller Times and the city officials were just all over him. Oh, what a wonderful man he is, particularly the person that doesn't give a damn about anybody else in Corpus, along with Mr. Risley. His name is Mr. Tom Whitehurst. He's the opinion editor of the Caller Times, and I'm going to get back all over them because, you know, we have these Del Mar College judgments against them for beating up and screwing around faculty members and employees over there, department chairs, and he doesn't care. They don't care enough about putting the fact that a jury said that my friend Dr. Bruce Olson shouldn't have been treated the way he was, and there were hundreds of thousands of dollars that he was going to benefit from that. And I've been over that. If you go back and watch the 11th, the November 5th, what's going on in Corpus Christi, Texas, and then the one that I filmed earlier today, it'll be out next week on the 12th, and find out what I'm talking about. It's despicable, folks, the way that Del Mar College treats people over there. And they've got these attorneys that speak with forked tongues, okay? And then the Caller Times is backing them because Del Mar College has about, I think the last I heard, I may be, correct me if I'm wrong there, Mr. Augustin Rivera, the in-house counsel at Del Mar College. It's about $1.3 million in advertising funds that Del Mar College puts out every year, and the Caller Times gets a big slug of that. So the Caller Times isn't going to risk putting something in there that's derogatory about Del Mar College and risk not being advertised with anymore. And I ask you, for $1.3 million, how many of you people out there don't know about Del Mar College? Do we have to spend that kind of money advertising them? And then we've got things like Dreams Delivered is our logo over there, and if you put Dreams Delivered in the computer, you come up with a whole bunch of porno sites. That's encouraging, isn't it? Okay, so go after me, Del Mar. But anyway, here's the city. On September 11th of this year, I went ahead and wrote the U.S. Department of Justice, Civil Rights Division, Disability Rights Section, and I wrote them a little note and said that Corpus Christi was totally out of compliance with ADA, and you know, I think it's despicable and so forth and so on. Now I sent this to the U.S. Department of Justice, as I said, the Veterans Administrator, Inspector General, because we have a lot of disabled vets around here that need to get around town and can't because of non-compliance with the Americans with Disabilities Act. You know, I mean, these are sidewalks and stuff, folks, that they can't use. I sent it to President President Donald Trump, United States of America, had no response. John Cornyn, U.S. Senator of Texas, from Texas, he's our U.S. Senator, no response. Mr. Blake Farenthold, U.S. Representative from our state of Texas at the federal level, no response.
Juan Chuy Hinojosa, who is a veteran. I would think he'd care about his veteran disabled people. No response. He's our Texas State Senator. Todd Hunter, Texas State Representative from here. No response. Rick Spurl, he did say something on the air about that. And the Corpus Christi Caller-Times. Now the Caller-Times has not put a single word back on the air about that, which I fussed about earlier in the show. That's since November the 2nd. Today is the 12th, and there has been no word at all published by the Caller-Times that Dr. Bruce Olson won hundreds of thousands of dollars from a jury because Del Mar College screwed him around. Okay. Now, the city of Corpus Christi, when they got the letter, okay, they said that citizens accessibility grievance form, I could fill one of these out. And Mr. Miles Risley, or Risley, has no concern, no compassion for the disabled around here. He is a buffoon, ladies and gentlemen. He is your city attorney. He doesn't give a damn about you as a taxpayer or as a disabled citizen, okay? And as far as I know, the reason that the city won't do it is Mr. Risley or Risley knows that here's the response from the United States Department of Justice. This is in response to the complaint that you filed with this office alleging a possible violation of the Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA. After carefully reviewing the information that you provided, we have decided not to take any further action on your complaint. Unfortunately, because the section receives thousands of ADA complaints each year, we do not have the resources to resolve all of them. So your government, folks, the United States Department of Justice, Civil Rights Division, Americans with Disability Act section don't give a damn about you. So what they do is they say, well, you know, you can go and hire an attorney and do this, that, and the other. Okay? And this is from Carmen Romero, Director of Intake Unit, Disability Rights Section. Disability citizens with disabilities have no rights under the federal government, and particularly the Department of Justice. Then I specifically complained to the Department of Veterans Affairs, okay? U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs Office of Inspector General. After careful review, it has been determined that the issues do not fall within the scope of the OIG on an actionable basis. As such, we will take no further action regarding your submission. So the Veterans Administration does not give a damn about disabled veterans. Are you ready to join me with a massive uprising of voices and say horse manure? Okay? Absolute equine excrement. So if you are interested in this and you see this, please pass it on to a neighbor. This is on YouTube. All you have to do is to go into YouTube, and most people have computers, and put in Gerald, G-E-R-A-L-D, Sansing, S-A-N-S-I-N-G, and then this show comes up. It's South Texas News and Reviews. Also take a look at what's going on in Corpus Christi. It's a 30-minute show that I do as the president of the Corpus Christi Taxpayers Association. Now, folks, I was brought up by one of the most highly decorated fighter pilots on the history of the United States Air Force, okay? And what he went through to allow me to speak my mind and to allow you your freedom of speech, he's rolling over in his grave when he knows that the Veterans Administration and Department of Justice will not qualify doing anything with people with disabilities according to federal, state, local laws. So are you ready to join me in a voice? I mean, I'll coordinate it. I don't have a whole hell of a lot of time during the day. I'm doing a triple overload at Del Mar College to help my students get through. That's my goal. That's the reason I don't retire, folks. And they're going to have to lock my butt out, just like they did Dr. Bruce Olson, in order to get rid of me. And I've told them on several occasions. They said, well, when are you going to retire? And I said, when that forklift comes out of this Garcia Science Building, East Campus, Del Mar College, with my dead body on a pallet on the front of it. I just retired, and not 1 second before that. And now they're down my back. You know, they'd love to lock me out because I am an extremely vocal guy. And the reason I have a right to tell you what I'm saying right now is my father, my grandfather, and all the way back my ancestors to the big one in the 1770s, the Revolutionary War in both the Boston, it was Lexington and Concord. I've got documentation. My ancestors were shooting redcoats at Lexington and Concord. And then I've got verification, hard evidence that my ancestors were shooting redcoats in the Carolinas, North Carolina, Virginia border. That's the Sansing clan. My mother's family was from the Boston area. Salem, as a matter of fact. And I know a witch hunt when I see one, and I've had several witch hunts conducted against me. Dr. Rito Silva, okay, and Del Mar College. So just keep it up. So anyway, I've saddled that horse. I've been totally despicable. Or I think I find these people totally despicable. I've been after faculty council to go ahead and get the faculty rights stuff in motion over there. Policy, we don't have one. Faculty members are screwed every day at Del Mar College, and we've got these attorneys over there that think they are Greek gods, I guess, and they can do no wrong. And then I've got about 3 minutes left. DMC and the A&M Corpus Christi, Texas A&M signed biotech deal. I'm going to talk about this in extreme and very lengthy process. Now here's what galls the hell out of me, okay? I have a long-standing resume. Mine's only 6 pages long. I boiled it down. Mine's not 70 like some of the egotistical faculty members at Del Mar College have, okay? You know, every time they have passed gas, it's on their resume. But anyway, here's my department chair, who I haven't said a word to in 2 years because he decided that he was going to side with the far side and go after me and lie about me and lie to me and so forth and so on, and I don't deal with people like that, okay? But now he's joined this chorus. And this came out on November the 2nd. And he's talking about these privileged individuals over there that get away with murder. But he says the courses on biotech, now that they're going to be taken in by Texas A&M Corpus Christi and on an unlimited basis, these courses offer a lot of hands-on experience that you don't get in traditional biology courses. Now, I can't believe the man has stooped to the point where he would go into public and say something like that. Okay? That further substantiates the reason why I do not want to talk to that man. I have nothing in common to say with that man, and he's on his own. Okay? So I mean, if he has been inducted into that horse manure, that all you have to do is have this jolly gee whiz, research, and then not teach students the basics in freshman and sophomore biology classes, then I don't know what to tell you there, pal, except I'm sorry that you went to the far side. You said you weren't, and you did, so, I've got no more faith in you. So that's on record now. So I'm going to go ahead in just a minute and shut it down and be right back. Okay, I'm back with the beautiful roses. Like I say, that's to my mom, Miss Connie, and to dear sweet Miss Lynn, my wife of many, many years, and April 23, who's a dear friend these days, and she's going to be a great success in her endeavors over here at Del Mar College. Okay, she's right on the verge of doing extremely well, and I'm very, very proud of her. So anyway, and then if you would help me out, let's go ahead and get this massive group together, start screaming, raising hell, and see if we can get some of this stuff turned around, folks. So I'm going to go ahead and let this run out. Please email me at gsansing@gmail.com. I need your help. Thank you.